Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Member Spotlight interview. Tonight, I have a real treat for you. It's a double whammy, and we're being joined by Anastasia Spring from Furniture with Anastasia, and the lovely Brent Hain from Foxtrot Woodworks and Design. Hi, Anastasia and Brent. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you very
welcome.
much.
So first of all, Anastasia, well, I'm Irish and I'm in Ireland. You are Russian, isn't that right?
Yes.
And you're now living in America. Can you tell us all how your journey started? Did it start in Russia? Did you do art, or did it just develop when you got to America?
Well, I haven't done any kind of painting or furniture back in Russia. And my journey actually started with my first kid when actually I was pregnant. And it was kind of funny story I told my followers. So when I was pregnant with my first child, and it's all excitement about buying new things for the baby and everything has to be new and pretty. So my mother-in-law surprised me with a set of furniture for the baby, and it was like used kind of orangey set of, it was a chest of drawers, it was the crib, and I think it was a changing table. I think it was like three-piece thing. So, and of course, I was very grateful. And I was like, well, it's not exactly the thing that I, imagined for the perfect dreamy nursery. And then I was like, well, what do I do? And I had no idea about chalk paint, furniture painting, or anything. But I was like, I'm just going to paint it, and I'm going to go with white. And what I did, which was horrible, like now I'm thinking about, I sanded the whole thing to the bones. Like I sanded it for hours with the sander outside, hours and hours. I had all, masks and the headphones. But now I'm joking that I think my kid is so loud is because I've done a lot of noise when I was pregnant. But anyways, I sanded the whole thing down. I primed everything. I painted everything. So it was my first, very, very first project. And it turned out really nicely. And I thought, like, well, you can get something for worth your money, not spend a ton. And it was a really quality furniture. So it was all wood and stuff. And it turned out nicely.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like, we were let's say newlyweds and just poor and
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose out of necessity, really, isn't it? Sometimes, I think a lot of us start out of necessity that we can't afford to go buy new stuff. And what about yourself, Brent?
And then we had
I
hands me
started
down.
building. What's that?
I'm sorry, I was saying that we had a lot of hands me down too at that point. So
Yeah, that's the best stuff to paint. I got started because for a similar reason. I just wanted to build stuff and paint stuff that I thought would look good in my home, because that's the only reason that I was doing it. I built most of the furniture that's in my house just based off of the fact that it needed to fit somewhere specific and I had a specific use for it. So I would design and build furniture out of that necessity. And that really grew into what I'm doing now, which is the total opposite of what I started doing and why I started doing it. I got a little booth at an antique store because I built a bunch of furniture for my house, and I thought, I'm going to build a couple more. And my friends were like, oh, you should try to sell that. So I got a little booth at an antique store, and I would come home from overseas for a month or two and build a bunch of furniture and fill it up. And I'd pay the rent on the booth before I ever left. Had a really good working relationship with the lady that owned the antique mall that I was in. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to just pay you all this rent and I'm going to leave for 3 or 4 months.
Sure, she thought brilliant. She thought
whatever
great.
happens, and I would come home every time and everything would be sold. So I'd build more and put it in there. And then I just started trying new things, and that just grew into what it is now.
Yeah, and how did your travel influence anything that you built? Did you go away and then bring back influences, or not?
I think all the travel that I've done has influenced everything about me, and that is a big part of what I build and what I paint and why I do it the way I do it, why I use the materials that I choose to use. That's all an influence from, I mean, yes, travel for the most part. Yeah.
And Anastasia, your furniture is beautiful. You hand paint your flowers. I use a lot of mixed media, so I use a lot of transfers and decoupage papers. But when I watch you, you just beautifully hand paint these flowers up your furniture. I mean, it is really something lovely to watch. And now your artwork, your wall art, is as big as your furniture.
Thank you. Yeah, and actually, I've been wanting to try transfers and decoupage and all that stuff, but I kind of ended up being lazy and cheap, and I was like, I don't go to the store, look for the perfect thing. I mean, I'll
I do the same thing.
I'm not giving myself credit for, just I'm like, I'm just too lazy to do that. I'll figure stuff on my own kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
I was the opposite. I was too lazy to sit and paint it by hand, so I just slap a transfer on, slap a bit of paper on.
Hey, by the way, happy birthday, Anastasia.
oh, thank
Yes,
you.
happy birthday.
I'm
Thanks for
21.
joining us on your birthday. Yeah, I know you're
big
21.
21. All right.
You can have your first beer. Your first beer in the bar.
I know. So excited.
And Brent, then you have moved on to the most spectacular wall art. I mean, when I say wall art for Anastasia and myself, it's canvases, but your wall art is entire walls of buildings. I mean, it's spectacular. And your content, I hope that everyone watches this actually goes and follows the two of you, because your content, Brent, you've so much content and it's amazing and it's very different. It's not your normal run of the mill, just paint the wall. It is very different, and you're going more and more abstract, and it really makes you look at it and think. And was that just a natural progression then from the furniture, or did you do art in school and college?
I mean, I've always enjoyed art, and I've enjoyed looking at art, and I did do some painting and drawing when I was young, but not on any kind of scale where it influenced me to decide that I was going to do that for a living, because this was all a gigantic accident anyway. But as far as the content that I post, I started off not knowing anything about social media. I was totally against even having a Facebook or an Instagram. I didn't want it, and I came up with the idea for this business, and a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you should start a Facebook." And I was like, "Nope, it ain't happening." But eventually I realized that in order to be successful and do that and only that, I was going to have some form of social media platform to advertise myself, because word of mouth will only get you so far. So I just started really paying attention to what the stuff that I enjoyed seeing people do. That's what I wanted my page to look like. And a lot of it at first was just like, here's a table for sale, $100. And cool, maybe you sell it, maybe you don't. But then I started realizing that people really like seeing the progression of what that table used to be, a barn. I tore it down, I brought it home, I pulled the nails out, and having, that instant gratification for people that are looking for that kind of content, to see that whole step visually through the process. And that will sell a table faster than just saying, here's a pretty table for sale.
Yeah.
Because people appreciate that process, and they want that in their home because it's a nice piece and they like it. But I think people enjoy being able to tell a story about a piece of furniture to their company. You know what I mean?
Yes. I totally agree. I think the more we're on social media, the more the people who watch us, they don't want to see, as you say, the finished article. They want to see how you painted it, how you blended it. And more, I think people are looking for tutorials. I think that's why YouTube is becoming, bigger and bigger and bigger now, because people want tutorials, want taught, they want to know, they're very curious. And you also sing, Brent?
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to be on social media too. You're singing.
Well, it's just something about me that, the regular customer doesn't know. Not everybody on social media is a customer, but everybody on social media is a potential customer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I like putting things out there about myself that people can relate to, other than, oh, that's a pretty piece of furniture,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, he was in the military and he plays guitar. My brother plays guitar and he was in the military. I'm going to follow this guy. And 6 months later, they're spending $500 on a table. So it definitely pays off. So, and I really fought that in the beginning, like doing stuff about real Brent and not just, I'm trying to turn this into a job, Brent. And I got a lot of positive feedback on it. So I just figured I'd continue doing it,
Yeah, well, the positive feedback, I think, is justified, because I know for a fact when I go on Instagram, you're one of the accounts I go, because I know you're going to have something for me to look at. You're going to have something different for me to look at, or you're going to have been singing or been shooting something, or just in a bar, or so. Yeah, so I think you've actually hit the nail on the head there. And also, I think social media is great for us furniture painters who are alone. Most of the time we're alone in our garages, we're alone, painting our furniture, so that we can have that connection with other like-minded people, other creative people. So I think it's very important. Yes, the social media is good for selling, but I think it's also good for making friends with people. I know I have made so many good friends through this business and through the social media side of it.
And you learn so much from so many different types of people.
And
Yeah.
I love that about it.
I wanted to add that, like, for me, social media didn't start like when posting my furniture. It wasn't about furniture or selling paint or anything. Going social media because I was like a mom, typical mom, stay at home with the kids that didn't see any adults, and I needed to somebody, and just if it's a simple comment online, or I could with anybody, it was like, oh my God, finally, even if I don't see anybody in person, I found so many. And it's I think it's hard on moms because you have the kids that go in the playground, you find the people of your age, you find the people that have the children of your age, but you still don't have the same interest. So you can't just go out and click with people just because they're in the same place, at the same time. So for social media, more like kind of finding your niche and people that have the same interests, no matter the age, no matter what you do, no matter, have kids or not, but we kind of could talk about the things we love. It kind of, for me, started from just finding people and being on social media. I was like, wow, that's like a huge outlet, like you said, for people maybe that feel lonely and they can't just go outside and find somebody to play with. It's not like kids, they go on the playground, they're just like all of a sudden like all play with each other, and all adults kind of like, So on social media was different. It was like, oh, we can just talk to each other easily without complaining all the time. So, and then eventually when I saw that people were interested in what I'm doing, and I was like, oh, well, I'm selling things, and I painted everything in my house, and it's time to get stuff out of the house. That's when it kind of became on a different level for me on social media.
Yeah. When you make that transition from a hobbyist to a business, and then
But it still means a lot to me to find people online. Like I don't care about the following or the how many likes and all that stuff. Of course, the algorithm and everybody's going crazy. Like we need to figure out the reels and do videos and dance and sing and just be entertainers. For me, it's more about relationship between people, and I found a lot of people from different countries. We connect, we talk on a daily basis, we share not just furniture but everything, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and the art brings us all together, and art and our love of it and our love of creating and repurposing. I think I read somewhere that next year, 2022, is going to be the big year for us because of the pandemic. It's our year, guys. It's going to be our year. But I think because of the pandemic, what they're saying is with supply networks have been disrupted, and stuff, and people, and then with the environment, people's love for the environment, that recycled furniture, upcycled furniture is going to be the big thing for next year for all interior design aspects. So I'm holding on to that. And I'm passing that on to you. Next year, guys, is our year.
That's it. Good.
It's
Finally.
it's definitely going to be our year. So, Brent, your latest piece, I'm just going to talk about it briefly. Your latest piece, the piano, you repurposed the piano into a desk. And I absolutely love that. I got my garden done and I want a piano to make it into a bar outside. So I watched your transformation of that piano very closely to see, did he take the keys out? Did he have to take the strings out? But I think that was genius. That's a really fantastic piece of repurposing a piece of furniture, because I don't know what it's like in America, but here nobody wants pianos. You see them all the time on Marketplace for free. Please take this piano. They're so big and they're so heavy and they're so chunky, and then they cost a fortune to get tuned. So if you do, you know, so I think that was a very clever one that you did there recently. And what's your plans for next year? Because we're coming to the end of the year. Have you any big plans? Apart from taking over the world.
I don't really do that. I don't even know what I'm doing January 1st. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and learning and growing a little bit at a time. And I don't really want to say this is where I'm going to be in 5 years, because I don't think that I'll be correct.
That's not going to work. But I did also see Thanksgiving you were giving away turkeys to those less fortunate than yourself.
Yeah, I bought some at Walmart. They had them on sale, and I thought, well, this is cool, you know.
I thought that was very that was just brilliant of you to actually do that, because I did see, well, I think I logged in and there you were. Anybody want a turkey? And it's like, what's that man doing now? Hold on, to go see what's he doing now. And then one time I seen you also, was it kids' clothes? You're helping out families with clothes, and so you are very community spirited and minded. And I think
I doing stuff like that. It's fun. It is.
Anastasia, it's Christmas. It's your birthday today, and then it's Christmas in a few days. And your two boys, they're getting involved now with the social media side of it. I saw their cool TikToks coming out with the glasses. They seem to be loving it as well.
Make videos all the time, but I'm like, nah, your ideas are not quite there. They're just they watched a lot. They watch too much YouTube. So
yeah. So yeah, any plans for the future for next year, or are we just going to keep going with? Are you going to paint your galaxy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that piece.
And I have to finish it soon, because my kids' clothes just literally laying on the floor in the room, which it's not much different from regular scene, but you know.
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for doing this. And for anyone who's watching, your business is Furniture by Anastasia and Foxtrot Woodworks and Design, sorry, by Brent Haynes. And I will have your business links on connected to this video. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you very much.
Happy Christmas.
You too.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.